Samuel Sanya is my name, and welcome to the show where we highlight latest innovations and entrepreneurs who are changing, transforming Africa and Uganda and the world at large. Today we're at Maarifasasa, who are transforming the world through virtual reality. We're going to see so much innovation that is going on. Robert and Pius are going to take us around and show us what they have in store. Join us.
My name is Robert Bob Okello, and I am a co-founder of Maarifasasa Limited. Maarifasasa means knowledge now in Swahili. And for me, technology is something I believe is an enabler. And so when I was really exploring what kind of technologies are going to really shape the future, virtual reality was one of those that came up. And I do believe that we live in a time where access is often a challenge. And virtual reality allows us to be able to access spaces and areas that we would otherwise not be able to. I mean, think about being able to go to, let's say, the International Space Center, or you're a geography student learning about different parts of the world. Let's say you're learning about, Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe or New York. Most of our students will never be able to go to those places, at least while they're still students, right? And so it becomes very expensive to actually make such kind of trips. With virtual reality, we flip the entire game and change it completely by bringing those places to the learners. But the application of virtual reality goes beyond just education. In real estate, if you're looking for a house, you have all had that experience walking around the city trying to find the house. With virtual reality, we can actually bring this property right to your convenience, wherever you are, in your living room, in your bedroom, whenever you're driving and stuck in traffic. We'll be able to actually experience and look for property as if you were there, virtually walking through all this property. In the field of medicine, for example, we can train the next generation of surgeons and doctors on how to actually do some of these surgical procedures without a lot of risk by actually doing this in virtual reality. In the field of architecture and engineering and construction, we are able to actually be able to visualize all properties and show customers and prospective buyers how a building would look in real life before the actual construction actually happens. So for me, these are some of the applications of virtual reality that makes me very excited about the prospects of this tool, not only here in Uganda, but across Africa. And I think as the fourth industrial revolution continues to emerge, we as Africans should be at the forefront as well in innovating and creating solutions for our people using tools like virtual reality and 3D virtual tours, for example. We ventured into this starting in 2018 when this was completely new and there were no VR headsets, for example, easily available in this market. And ever since then, it was really, at the beginning, very challenging to even help people grab their head and perhaps really understand and conceptualize the idea of virtual reality. For most people, it sounded like science fiction, out of some sci-fi movie. But when we started getting access to VR and seeing a lot of the equipment becoming more available in the market and a lot of Ugandans actually beginning to interact with the technology, we saw a lot of awareness that was being generated and then a lot of reception. Our first area of entry was in geography education. The key problem we wanted to solve was that of access. Like I mentioned, in Uganda, if you're studying O-level at the time, everybody studies geography and the things like studies in development. So we approached several geography teachers across Uganda and said, hey, how many times do you send your students to some of these field trips, right? And there's schools that are very far away in remote parts of the country. Think of a school, for example, in Yumbe, northeastern Uganda, that has to organize a school trip for their candidate class of maybe 100 students to western Uganda to just study about Kilembe copper mines. The trip from Yumbe to Kampala, then from Kampala to Kasese, it's a very long journey and very expensive immediately. So for most of those kind of students, they will just stop at what the textbook has to provide. With virtual reality, again, the game changes. We can actually take those places directly to the students in their classrooms. And so that was really what a lot of geography teachers were excited about, and we were able to deliver on that. And then, we were also able to use the field of gaming actually to help mostly in creating public awareness about virtual reality by giving them a chance to interact with this technology in a more fun way to just increase their interest on how this technology could be used But then after we get them interested through these games, they begin to then see other applications beyond just gaming, for example, or entertainment for that matter. So at the moment, as we speak, we are seeing very good reception now. It's, of course, a lot of progress that has been made since 2018, and there's a lot more public awareness about virtual reality. Of course, we're not yet where we're supposed to be and where we hope to be, but I think that we are moving in the right direction as a society, and we're seeing increasing demand, but also in terms of the applications of virtual reality. We began in education. Now we are seeing interest coming in from Ugandans involved in real estate. We are seeing a lot of interest from those in architecture and design. We are also seeing a lot of interest in the hospitality and tourism space, where a lot of these players are looking for new and exciting ways to engage, especially international tourists. How do you give someone a preview experience of Queen Elizabeth National Park, for example, while they're in New York or in London? So by the time they experience that, they can't wait to come to Uganda and actually experience that. So these new applications has also increased the public interest. And so I would say that we are moving in a very good direction with this technology. The process of developing virtual reality content and 3D virtual content in Uganda at the beginning was quite challenging, primarily because we didn't have the direct talent that we needed to actually be able to create some of this content. So for example, it was really challenging at the beginning to find Unity developers or Unreal Engine developers. These are two platforms that are very, very essential when you're developing programs for virtual reality experiences, right? And so what we had to do was either train those people on our own or find particular engineers and software developers with transferable skills. So for example, someone that has an experience working with platforms like SolidWorks could easily, that's basically used for 3D modeling and all that, can easily go into Unity or Unreal Engine, which are two main platforms used in VR development, and actually begin to create things. So at the moment, we have a team that is actually working on creating this content. We have two types of content primarily for two different ways of interacting with this technology. We have the 3D content, which is mostly seeing vast applications in real estate and in tourism, especially those that want to show their accommodation and all these kind of spaces. And then we have the virtual reality content, where we use 360-degree cameras to be able to capture that experience that allows you to feel as if you are there, and then stitch it all together. And this can then be published as programs on a VR headset like this one that you see right here. So that is where we are right now. We have a team of three. We have a CAD engineer, we have software engineers, and then of course we have a lot of people involved in other digital services specializations within the same value chain of virtual reality development. And all this is happening here in Uganda. Tony Almalo Entrepreneurship Foundation program was a game changer for us. And as an alumni, I reflect back to my time in the program. There are few aspects of the program that I found really, really remarkable. First of all was the 12 weeks online bootcamp that really was in position to equip me with the skills that I needed to understand the world of entrepreneurship, from business modeling to understanding revenue projections, customer acquisitions, and all these aspects that are very, very critical for any entrepreneur. But secondly, the program also paired us with a mentor that was more experienced in this journey, who had a very deep understanding of the business world. And just benefiting from their experience and their expertise was something that really, I think, put us on the course for success. But ultimately, the $5,000 grant that came after completing the program was remarkable. When we began the virtual reality space, we were just talking to people about it without any headsets. It was impossible to get people to understand this. So one way we utilized that $5,000 grant was actually to acquire our very first virtual reality headsets, which changed the game to us. The people that had no clue and no means of understanding what we were previously telling to them, now we could just go back, give them the headset, let them experience it, and instantly they could now get it. So I think that for us was really the beginning, and without that $5,000 grant, I don't think we would have gotten to where we are at that rate and speed. And so I just want to give my heartfelt thanks as well to Tony Almalo Entrepreneurship Foundation, and for the remarkable work they're doing across Africa to support young entrepreneurs like me as we continue to build the future of Africa.
Thank you very much, and that's what we've had for you today. Join us again for the next episode. See you soon.